Hi there, welcome to Carcassonne with Witze. Maybe again, if you've witnessed one of the streams earlier today. This time it's the German Carcassonne Online Championship and it's the final of Group B between Medusahope and Mermadin. Both pretty experienced players, both playing Carcassonne since the early days, having amassed thousands of matches, not only on BGA, but on other platforms as well. I'd consider Medusahope to be the better player, but on any given day, Mermadin should still be able to beat Medusa. And as he informed me just a few seconds ago, he's already waiting for Medusa. So let's quickly check the table, or rather the standings. Loishi already has all 3 matches played and won 2 of them, so has secured a semifinal spot. But he'll be in second place because either Mermadin beats him on tiebreaker, so worst would be this one if he wins 2-1, which then is a better games difference than Loishi has, or Medusahope would win, let's say, 2-1 as well. And then both would have the same games difference, but Loishi lost versus Medusahope, so Loishi will be in second place. And the winner of this match today will move to first place to secure a semifinal spot versus one of these 4. So all these matches were played in the last 2 years, and if I remember correctly, yep, I do. All are or were played turn-based, so that's, I'd say, a different animal, but still Carcassonne. Let's see. They haven't started yet, but well, Medusa should be online by now and looks like just joined the game. Let's see. And now they have started. They have. Yeah, Mermadin playing blue in this match. Medusa with the yellow meeples. Standard opening so far. Not giving anything back to your opponent. Playing it safe. Trying to not get behind in the early going. Trying to equalize features if there's nothing better to do. Yeah, Medusa hoping to connect here if Mermadin connects on the left side, and I think that's a misstep, even if it's just a tiny one. Because you could lose this road. I guess Medusa will take it now over here. And then Mermadin has to block here. Tries to kill this square. Medusa just taking points. leaving the city cap there in a rather safe spot, and now we see the block or obstruction to a crossroad. So Medusa won't use a curvy piece lightly over there, as this square could be killed with any road from the bottom, because the quadruple crossroad is already gone. No easy continuation available for this. That's the risk of playing it safe. And of course, with this one still alive, didn't want to play it over here, but this could have been considered, but then there'd be this option against your two road meeples. And I guess Mermadin will now try to kill or at least restrict this square. Yellow gets to save this one, so city is still alive. Yeah, takes the 2 points here, but then leaves this one behind. Whereas over here, that'd still be this cap. Arguably, this might be better, considering you are a bit more likely to take it, because yellow already has a lot of meeple invested. Yeah, saves the city. And of course, would like to close it on the right side to then have the option of connecting or splitting in the middle of the city. For now, everything's fine for yellow by liberating their two road meeples. Closes the city on the right side. Meanwhile, Mermadin just has fun with monasteries. Doesn't opt to use the monastery here to exert some pressure on yellow city. And I think yellow has no problem with that. Quite likely yellow will now, and they aren't. So that's a bit playing with fire. Not doing anything about this. Now also killed one attacking no platform to create an attacking square. Limited this one at least. Now he might even be forced to use the monastery here. Upside is there, definitely present. 2 horses gone. There's the last one. So any city piece from the top would be a kill. Gets the rose. This at least kills the city on the left side and adds 3 points. So guess yellow saves this here now. They do, and now we'll see. Still prefers not to do anything about it. And there are still 2 field Doritos out there, plus 3 road Doritos. So 3 over here and 2 to connect here, but also 2 to split. But both of these options aren't great for blue. The best thing for blue is that they are at plus a 15, have 2 monasteries almost completed, one already in the bank. Nice move by yellow, preventing the splitter used by blue up top, and also a quick road meeple recovery. Yellow connects, and now they only need 1 out of 3 road Doritos to get back into this game, and then quite likely might take this 6-point road as well, or the field, but there is already a yellow farmer on the field, so they'd take the road, or maybe the field on the other side, depending on what happens up top. Quite likely blue would need to secure the road beforehand, just as a bit of insurance. Yellow still hopes to get a splitter there. Would be pretty sweet, running away with their city and adding 2 to their field. That's why he saves this connection. Also, he'd quite likely would rather get this meeple back than kill it, unless they would have closed this city beforehand. This works as well. Also a nice insurance move, taking care about this field. But still, it's almost tied. Creates a secondary or possible secondary 9-point field, but I guess recovering the road meeple takes priority here. Not sure I would have meepled that farm now. Blue is rather unlikely to connect there, and if yellow does, they then could use a meeple on the farm. So will we see another attack by blue? Will they just take this city? Or maybe take the field over here? Or try to force a bigger city? I think yellow has their priorities straight. Not taking the 4 points, but attacking this field, also having the option of connecting here. This monastery with your penultimate meeple and only 10 tiles to go. When there is a field fight brewing and a 12-point field to take with any road piece over here, I'm not sure that's the best investment. So Medusa just takes care of this field. Of course, would really like to connect here as well, and then block the square maybe from maximum efficiency. So there aren't that many pieces to connect here. 3. 1 he got in hand, so he has to place it there. Can't kill this. There is still 1 dagger left. So in this case, the other option might have even been the better one, as that would have added this city to Yellow's farm if Blue were to get the vertical splitter to close their city, but it would have also opened up this farm to attack from the left side, and that's quite likely why Yellow chose this option, but it doesn't matter. Blue closes the city, takes the road, recovers, and gets the lead. Yellow will get 6 additional points, but it doesn't matter in the end. Blue outscores them by 6 points. Yeah, 6 points it is. So Mermadin taking the first puts a lot of pressure on Medusa. Arguably the favorite, as I said, but I also said Mermadin definitely is able to beat Medusa. Yeah. He said he drew everything that he needed. Well, this one did go to Yellow, so problem was getting both splitters, because 1 would have been enough for Yellow to win this game, but they didn't get 1. That happens sometimes. Yeah, looks like they take a quick break. I'll do the same. Default opening moves. Medusa quite likely will create a city on the right side. Nothing complicated so far. Yeah, continuing on the top just to prevent any options for Yellow to attack it. And if Yellow draws anything to obstruct it, well, then at least you'd have the bigger side of the mini battle. But this here is, of course, a nice possibility for Yellow to come back, and 2 nice pieces in a row, equalizing the early, I'd say, better start of Blue. But sometimes your opponent just gets what they need, and in this case, this was the dagger plus a Dorito. Compensation for blue is getting an early farm. Not sure why they insist to take this road. Well, putting some pressure on yellow's road. But with still 3 crossroads left, I might have rather picked this road and up top to then try to kill yellow's monastery completely. But maybe that's okay as well. This year I can't really condone. Are still still 1 extender and 2 vertical splitters left, and now you don't have an ideal continuation for them, so I'd have quite likely used this one over here. And if closing this, then of course with the farmer. So missteps or misstep, however you wanna define this, by yellow, at least in my book. So blue attacks this square, hopes to kill it. Still 2 daggers left. Definitely worth defending, especially because you just can take this city. And now 2 points over here. Pre-closing a road, although actually it doesn't matter because you'd get these 4 points anyway once you close this. And the farmer is quite nice because either you get the dagger to liberate your monastery and close the city, or blue might to close theirs, unless you kill this square before that. Blue has a nice monastery cluster to be created on the right side if they get another one, and here we go. Meanwhile, yellow just connects, obstructs the road, but doesn't leave this city there for blue to take, kills blue's city on the left side, and now has 2 options, or rather 2 pieces to connect to the field, take 4 points, add a city to the field, and liberate the monastery. So definitely critical tiles, and if blue doesn't get both of them, doesn't really look that great. Sure, they now added a second farmer on the right side, which is likely to connect. But now that they don't have any meeples in hand, can't even use this prime monastery square. Meanwhile, yellow has 2 in hand, prevents blue from connecting to the city just to take meeple back, and also can now quite easily connect here if they get a big city piece and then run away with the city without blue being able to do anything against it, apart from trying to block this, but they don't have a meeple to attack again. And this here kills this square, because if blue would get a road monastery, they'd use it over here. And they had to do this. Damn it. Okay, here we go. They had to do this because else any straight would have killed this square, and with both monasteries and this way, at least this one is still alive. Not anymore. Both squares are dead because yellow just got the remaining road monastery. Meanwhile, they defended against an obstruction there and reclosed the city. Blue limits this to the quadruple city. And yellow took the plunge over here, hoping to draw one of the two remaining pieces to liberate the monastery. So they have the daggers, the quadruple city, a Dorito, and a cow to get meeples back. And now the road Dorito as well. And considering they are ahead by 2 points, and this here is the only way for blue to get a meeple back, apart from the quadruple city. The precise move would be not to go over there. Yeah. Quick exchange. Mermadin says Medusahope should count or should take his sweet time and count. And I think he should. Mermadin is completely right. And if Medusa counts correctly, he'll see that there is more or less no chance for blue to still win this game unless blue were to draw the quadruple city, the cow, but yes, the Dorito and both daggers to add a city to their field, which would add 3 points to their score, which then would be a +1. So now there are still 4 pieces left, which all would need to go to blue, although not anymore, because a tie would be enough for them as well. So if blue were able to add this city to their field, for example, like this, and yellow would get a Dorito or the Dorito or the cow on their last turn, they'd get another point, but it would be too late. Yeah. No, 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 no. It's fine. Take your time. I won't get mad that quickly. Here we go. Dorito. Oh yeah, nice, 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 nice. Totally missed that one. And now, uh, yeah, this then is the dagger because there's no option anymore for Mermadin to add the double dagger city to his field. And that's if Medusa saw this, a pretty nice way of closing this game down. There is another dagger, but now it doesn't matter anymore, and now it's gone. Ja, jetzt ist safe. Now it's safe in plain English. So we'll see decider. And that's great news because the more content, the better. Even if it's only for a handful of people. Yeah, here we go. Third game, ready to start. And looks like they just have started. This time Mermadin with the first piece. I'm not keeping track of who did start in the other games, so considering they do use a regular game and don't play a tournament, both should have been starting player in one game so far, so this is definitely okay and not an annoyance as the wonky Swiss system by BGA. Merma extending this road, hoping to snatch it later. And Medusa deliberating whether to just equalize this one or go for the more aggressive approach, taking the city and later try to kill the square. Arguably, that's risky, but quite a lot of pieces blue could use to attack over here. They need to use for their city instead, so not as risky as in many other situations. I almost would have expected a farmer just because this is open all the way. But it would have been a tad early. Yellow with the worst attacking tile against this config, but they still take it. Because what else is there? Taking 2 points and leaving this attacking option for your opponent to take? Well, surely not. Although, again, blue would need city plus road pieces up top. That's the wrong orientation, but it still allows them to attack the city at the bottom. Only one horse remaining and no defense tile for blue, so the kill is incoming. And not a second too soon, too late, because blue had the remaining horse in hand. Prevents an attack over here, but this one is still alive and yellow might or maybe even should take it. Even though that there is the risk of blocking this with a straight, and then it would be killed. Not just a straight, any road piece then. But there might even be a nice defense available, so we'll see how this one turns out. Now it's about time for blue to do something about it, and I'm not sure this is the right way. Usually, as per complex V and H, this one here would be better. But with this city, these monasteries, this one here killed, I don't see any way for yellow to still lose this one. And I think Mermadin does so as well. Well, Medusa says sorry, but drawing 2 pieces in a row to take this over. Well, it happens sometimes, and if your opponent doesn't do anything about this square, then tries to do this here, which you, even if you weren't drawing the perfect connection piece, easily counter by limiting your connection square to 3 tiles. I think there's no need to say sorry. It just happens, and it's definitely okay that it happens sometimes. So 24 points, and was there still a chance? Yeah, of course there was still a chance. Over here, taking the field and enlarging it. But I guess with the abundance of meeples in hand, yellow will immediately counter. Maybe over here, as to not endanger the monastery, but considering there aren't any more monasteries left, they don't even really mind. Not sure I would have taken that spot, but it adds a possible city to their field. And now they might even take this one. Still daggers left, still a splitter and the retro left. There's one of the daggers. Blue attacking at the bottom, maybe like this. So if I'm not sure it's wise to create a second field, even if it's next to your monastery. I think adding everything you can to the main one and winning this outright would be the only way to win this game. And you more or less would have to get perfect pieces at minus a 34 down. And a cow just isn't a perfect piece in this case. Yeah, quite easy defense. Also taking the city. With no monasteries left, this here is also a bit imprecise because it endangers your city more than necessary and doesn't really do more for your monastery than using it over here. Yeah, yellow gets one of their pieces to liberate the monastery there, and it's game over. No matter what happens over here, even if blue overruns the field. And looks like they won't even get that chance. Blue forced the self-obstruction on yellow, but even that won't change the outcome. This here was left empty by yellow, even though they had a lot of meeples in hand, and there still was this one dagger available, which gives back an indirect connection for blue, so could have placed a meeple there nonetheless. But overall, it doesn't really matter. After this city here, it was tough for blue, but there were still permutations to win this. And this here isn't it, because all left-handed daggers are already gone. So this is a dead square and a dead attack. And it's a bit of a bummer because I had hoped for this decider, and then it turns out to be a pretty lopsided game. Yeah, about this Dorito then, I'm not sure about the meeple situation back then, but in a case like this, if you don't need the meeple back as ASAP, could consider just breaking the city. All horses were gone by this time, and then attacking a city like that isn't as easy as doing it this way. So at least 1 point to consider, where arguably blue could have done another move, maybe a better one. I think at this point in time, yellow had 2 meeples on the monasteries and blue's was already dead. So there was arguably no need to force the closure of this city. Yeah, this is just playing, I don't know, without counting. Although, taking 4 points, what else is there? Really nothing. Well, 4 points up top. Doesn't matter anyway. So let's quickly assess this situation again once these two are finished. So congratulations to Medusahope for securing the first spot in Group B and a semifinal spot against the second place finisher from Group A. So let's check the replay. Must be round move, I don't know, 60, 70. Oh, it's already too late. Okay, here's the connection. Let's switch the colors again. So the connection by blue. Yellow adds the second monastery, and here we go. Yeah, well, at this point in time, Mermadin even had the meeple majority, although it's only a temporary one. This cluster is definitely rather easy to liberate. Same goes for yellow's city meeple up top, whereas this here could be blocked with a city piece to the remaining 2 daggers. So arguably it's okay to do this, but this here would work as well. I mean, doing this just to prevent an attack like it happened is more or less hindsight, but at least this should be a consideration in a case where there is no direct attacking option left, because this here would immediately kill it, as the 3 horses are already on the board. So, yep, the game would have taken another road with this move here for sure. And then I think, yeah, wise choice doing this. Of course, Mermadin could have used the rose here just to prevent yellow from trying to take it over, and with 5 big pieces, let's say 4 cows, because you'd rather not use the quadruple city over here because it would give back at least 1 counter-attacking option to blue, and 6 Doritos, which would all be pretty big tiles for yellow. You could consider closing this just to play it safe, else there is always this option. Excuse me. At least this one, although I'd prefer this. And I guess blue didn't take either, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they opted to play against this city. Which yellow, with a bit of luck, could close immediately. And then there's the monastery, which isn't used over here. So there were options to prevent and at least to counter this. But even if they had used the rose over here, they, at least in this permutation, couldn't have prevented the city closing. Let's actually take another look at this one again. So usually this here would be the prime option, as then you can use any straightish piece to kill this. And even with on this being the 5th road already in this game, I don't see why this position would be the better option. Gives back the Doritos to kill the city. And maybe you could consider the daggers as well, because sure, they can be used to kill this. But if you had played the straight over here, you could use the same daggers to limit this to quadruple city, and of course add a meeple there, or flip for the quadruple city if you want to add a bit of volatility. So I think this was a misstep, at least with these tiles out there, because you also kill quite a lot of options to reduce this to the quadruple city as well. And in terms of giving defense pieces, well, you take quite a lot of them away from yellow, although the monasteries are gone. So I still think the other option would have been better. But I'm definitely too lazy and too tired to analyze this in depth now. So this was it for Group B of the GCOC. As I've said already, let's check if this already reflected in the standings, and it isn't. But it's already in the cross table. That's interesting. No, there's the third game still missing. So yeah. So in the end, Medusa will take the first place due to the tiebreaker. Number 4 won the game, the match versus Loishi, and Loishi will be in second place. Waiting for Group A to conclude. And as you might notice, I haven't played any matches so far, but I'll do, and at least start this week. And quite likely will play the other games this or next week as well. And then we'll see who will take the first and second place in Group A. One decision is already there. Karabujan will definitely qualify for the semifinal, as there's no way, or 2 of the other 3 to get to 2 wins. Oh no, I'm wrong. There is still a way. If Zockale beats me and Karabujan would lose against me and I would win versus Amiris, could still have 3 folks with 2 wins. But in this case, even if Karabujan would lose 2-0 against me and Zockale would win 2-0, then Karabujan would still be ahead of Zockale via the tiebreaker. So he definitely is qualified for the semifinals, even though there'd still be an option for 3 folks to get to 2 wins. Everything else, I have to let another streamer explain, because I definitely won't stream my games. So that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time. I haven't chosen any match to stream. Let's quickly check if there's anything announced that could be interesting. Well, there is a semifinal tomorrow in the Taiwanese Carcassonne Online Championship, and I might find the time to stream that one. Yeah, I guess so. Why not? Okay, then see you tomorrow or on another day. Bye bye.